So welcome to Online Presenters. This is a club that meets online, and we are specifically dedicated to learning skills for better webinars and online events. Welcome visitors. We do have a series of these workshops coming up. Actually, just the week after next, we will have another one with John Hayden, who's the author of Facebook Marketing for Dummies. He's particularly an authority on online marketing for nonprofits. He does a weekly Facebook Live show, and he's going to tell us a little bit about how he does it and how he does it effectively. So you'll be getting a link to the workshops page. We also do meet every Monday at 7:30 Eastern Time, and you can register on our website to come any week and see what a regular meeting is like if you're here for the first time. And we do have a membership requirement. We ask you to visit twice as a guest, so we're not trying to press you to become a member after the first time you visit. We want you to make a speech about why you would like to join. And this is an advanced club, so if you don't have at least 6 Toastmasters speeches under your belt, we have to bend the rules. We are willing to do that if people have other relevant professional experience. So we're talking with some folks about that earlier. Ground rules are this meeting will be recorded. We want to have a replay that we can share with people after the fact. We encourage you to mute your microphone when you're not speaking. And I have access to the magic mute all button that will silence everyone, but there is a mute unmute button in the lower left-hand corner. So if you really do need to speak up, you can. We do also have a chat feature here. So if you click on the chat button and type a question, Graham will be collecting those as we go along, and he'll be making sure the important questions get asked to Johnny. So this is not a regular meeting. We will have Johnny Campbell giving a presentation for the majority of this meeting. It's going to be about 40 minutes, including time for Q&A, and we'll have a little bit of other business around that. One trick to know about this online meeting environment is you get to control what you see on screen. You can go back and forth between the gallery view, where you see everybody, and the speaker view, where you focus on the person who's presenting. We want to thank RingCentral for allowing us to use this online meetings platform. If you've used Zoom video conferencing, you'll notice that this is very similar. The two companies have a technology partnership. RingCentral markets it as part of its online video platform, and they've been nice enough to allow me to use a copy of it for the purposes of this club. So we got the recording is starting. We are ready, I believe, to introduce our Toastmaster of the day. Adrienne Williams will be taking us through our main meeting.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Adrienne Williams. I am the 2017 Impromptu Speaking, which is known as also Table Topics, for our District 47, and I had the honor of meeting Mr. Johnny Campbell then, so I was excited about being Toastmaster today, because that would be a great thing for me to introduce. It's an honor. I want to welcome you guys today. We are going to have a thing today, which is celebration. So if you could incorporate celebration and excitement and energy in what you're doing today, that will be great. Because we have time constraints, I'm going to move right on to the roles. Our odd counter today is Risa Blair. Risa, could you explain to us what that is?
I'm not sure that Risa made it today.
Okay.
Maybe we can take an odd counter vacation. That would be my name.
Our timer I have is Arlene, Distinguished Toastmaster.
Yes, hello. You can see the black box with timer written on it, and I'll just be timing, I guess, Johnny and David. And Johnny will be 20, 30, or 30 and 35, 40 minutes. And I'll just peel off the layers, and it'll look like that. Okay?
Okay, so will you be using colors?
Yes. Can you see the green light? And then the yellow light?
Yes, I can see it.
And the red light? Okay. And
Okay,
then
perfect.
if he goes over, we'll give him that. And if he can't see me, if he loses sight of me, I'll give him this at 30, 35, and 40.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Our grammarian is George Chisa, Distinguished Toastmaster. Could you explain to us your role, please?
I think George is also not here.
Okay, our
Again.
watcher we have as Lois Margolin, Distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you, Adrian. My responsibility as Watcher of the Day is to keep an eye on all of the members and guests to just make sure that we can see you, that you're not too dark, and at the end I'll give a report about how everybody looks.
Thank you. Our chat monitor we have is Graham.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I'm Graham Cairns. I'll be your chat monitor today. My job will be to watch what's happening in the chat. If there's anything that needs to be drawn to the attention of you as Toastmaster or of our guest speaker, that will be my job, but I won't be interrupting unless it is particularly important. However, I will make sure I take a note of any questions that are raised to make sure that Johnny is alerted to them at the question and answer session.
Awesome. We also have a vote counter today, Scott Johnson. He's also a Distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. My job as vote counters is if we need to vote on something, I will busily take all the votes and report back later. Thank you.
Thank you. And does someone want to take the responsibility for grammarian since we didn't have one? Any volunteers?
Given that we're not going to be having a table topics or anything else, I'm not sure that we really need a grammarian today, Madam Toastmaster.
Okay, perfect. At this time, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Mr. Johnny Campbell, the transition man is how he's known. He is a Toastmasters accredited speaker who was voted into the Speakers Hall of Fame in 2007. He gives webinars as part of his public speaking and career coaching business. We've invited him to present on how he has adapted his offline skills to speaking online. At this time, it is my honor to introduce to you accredited speaker, distinguished Toastmaster, Mr. Johnny Campbell.
There we go. All right, it's off of mute now, and I think I had it up. There we go. All right. Let's see here if we can get back to where we were. There. Now we're up, everybody. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started here with our presentation. David, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up because you're the only one I can actually see. Okay. All right. Now I can go. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I am so privileged to be here with you, and I thank you for allowing me to do this presentation. As I said before, pay no attention to the back of my office. It's a little messy, so stay focused on me and what I'm going to deliver here. But what I want to deliver is really the next step in your growth using video. And for all the videos that you might be doing, experiencing, and wanting to produce, that next step, that next jump is to take that information and knowledge and leverage video as a way for you to grow your business or create a new additional income stream. And for me, that's exactly what happened. It was that I was out on the road speaking, and I started to do lots of videos, constantly doing videos, and people would give them to me, and I never knew really what to do with them. And then after a while, I came to realize how those videos were valuable content that could be reproduced and repackaged and actually sold. And then eventually, as my career continued on, I began to see unique ways to earn income from past presentations, but also to produce videos. So what I want to do here in the time that we have is share with you a progression of really how you get started to how you're producing your videos for income. So mine is really about your knowledge to your information becoming income through the use of video. So how to turn your knowledge and information into income using videos. First of all, let me give you the qualifier here. I will be talking about money at times. So as they always say, better call Saul. In other words, results may vary in accordance to what you hear me say. So I'm going to share with you my path but your path might be a little bit different. Therefore, your results might become different. But I'm going to share with you the things that I did to build and grow my business through the use of video. One of the things I show here is an example of trainings. I've conducted lots of trainings around the country, and right here in this video particularly, I'm actually sharing with them how to turn products into online products and how to produce more. So I do trainings and seminars and coachings around the country. Let's go ahead and pull the curtain back. And here it is, how to turn your knowledge and information into income using video. First thing to understand is this: if you're going to use video and you're going to start producing content to sell, you are now in the information business. So you're not really in the video business, you're in the information marketing business. Because you're in that business, video just becomes one of your primary mediums that you use to disperse your information. But anytime you say to yourself, I want to use this information to gain credibility, create opportunities for myself, or earn money from it, now you're in the information marketing business. So why is your knowledge and information valuable and more powerful than free information you can get searching on Google? Now, here's the important thing. A lot of individuals devalue what they actually know because they think, well, we can Google it. Someone can search that out. Well, the value of what you have to offer comes down to applied knowledge, specific details, your experiences, and your results. So when you think about your information currently that you have, no matter what it is, people are willing to pay for your information. And if you package it inside of video, people will pay for that, and they will pay a premium for that. And the reason they'll pay for it is not just because of only applied knowledge, your details, experience, and results. It's because you have curated the information. People don't have to go online and search and search and search to find the answers when they can go to a person who has curated the information and has it in one place with very specific details on how someone can be successful. So no matter what your favorite topic is, subject is, or hobby is, there are people out there that are willing to pay you for you to curate it and share your applied knowledge to it. So people are willing to pay. So the question is this: when it comes to turning your knowledge and ideas into money, what do you know? What are you good at? And what do you love doing? So the reason I ask those questions is because if you're going to sell your information online through video, then you really have to do a curation of your own personal thoughts. Like, what is it that you know so much about that you think others would benefit from? Or is it something that you're very good at, something that you really enjoy? Or is it, what if it's something that you love doing? So it's so important for you to think about that when you start to curate your information. Now, as a Toastmaster, I've been on the road and speaking for 18 years, Toastmaster for 16 years. And over that time, a lot of people would say, you know, Johnny has a lot of information on how to be a presenter and how to communicate an effective message. But the thing that I love more than anything else to share is actually personal development information. Because what I came to realize was that if a person isn't developing the right mindset, it is very difficult for them to receive instruction on how to be a successful speaker or a successful leader. So I've produced quite a bit of content through video on just getting your mindset and mentality in the right place to implement. What I found is I can tell everybody exactly what to do, and they still won't do it. And they won't do it because their thinking isn't right. So I found this love in really sharing the hardcore, here's how you get yourself in the right state of mind to implement. And I found there are marketplaces that love personal development from that context, the very practical, direct advice. So I've found there are spaces for that. With you, it could be the fact that you love to work with kids. You love to work with dogs, cats, animals. You love to work with people in a specific area of life. All of those things are what you know, and there's other people that want to know that as well. So you really have to think about, is it something that you want to share that's based on what you know, something that you're really good at, or is it something that you love doing? So those are kind of the first thoughts you have to keep in your mind when you're going to start to create a video. You first have to start with this. Next, you have to identify the right prospects and customers. Now, in other words, when you start to think about, I want to share my ideas with others through video, you have to ask yourself, who are they? Who are these individuals? What is their situation? Where do they gather online? Because in every social network, you can now use video. Just recently, LinkedIn has their own video platform as well. And I'm not sure if we're not connected on LinkedIn, but if we are, you will have seen a video I produced exclusively for LinkedIn talking about the advantages of video through LinkedIn. So you got to think about, where are the people, the real people that really are interested in what you want? Are they in LinkedIn? Are they in Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest? Where are these individuals? And then once you identify the social network that they're in, are there other people discussing it and selling information to them? That's the next question you have to ask yourself. If you're going to sell your knowledge and information, you've got to look and see, is there anyone else in here promoting or marketing themselves? Next question, of course, is what type of product and format? Are they just in there doing blog posts? Are they doing podcasts? Or are they doing video? Video, personally, is the most powerful way for you to convert more people, gain better connections and relationships. So video is really your pathway to really grabbing more people. Plus, being a Toastmaster, you already have presentation skills. So now you're able to take those presentation skills online and talk to people directly. And the biggest thing about video is you being, and they use the fancy word, authentic. Some people say being real. I call it just being yourself. Communicate just as you are. Talk from your heart about that specific issue, passion, or love that you have, and really share with people a roadmap to being successful, to achieving things in their life, to having more in their life. And if you do that, you'll be amazed at how the production of your video doesn't have to be as great because your content is so strong. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't produce nice videos if you learn how or if you're capable. But what people come for is that person's wisdom and insight so that they can get over whatever is troubling themselves. And of course, if there's someone in those spaces selling their information, how much are they selling it for? So if you ever see someone in a space where you want to market, being in a group or some Facebook group or in LinkedIn or somewhere, and you notice that there's someone who has the same interest as you and they're promoting something, go over and see how much they're charging for it, because it will give you a context of where the price range could be. I'm not saying you have to quote the same amount, but you'll just learn the context of that. Okay. Next thing on there is this: product development based on your knowledge and information. Here's where we're going to go. Create a product that solves a problem, which is obvious. But when you think about your success in video, you have to think about, what is my audience going through? What are they dealing with right now? It is great to talk about prosperity and money and all of those things. But most people in their life right now are looking for information to help them deal with crisis, conflicts, and of course, criticism. Everybody's trying to get their mind in the right place to be successful. So if you have a product, meaning your knowledge and information, that can help them resolve a crisis in their life, a conflict of dealing with situations, or maybe criticism, how others think about them, those are always powerful products, but those are also powerful conversations. If you're going to interview people, if you're going to host a web show, those things are powerful things that you can offer up for people. Okay. Next thing on here is this. When it comes to video, you have to think about what's going to be the basis of your video. You know, when I create videos, my videos are sometimes, and what I'm showing over here is content. In other words, sometimes you can create a video that shares an article. In other words, the video is playing, but the article's on the page and they can hear your voice. Sometimes you can share knowledge based on a white paper. You can put a video on a blog. You can use infographics, but yet to explain the infographic as a video to people. You can, of course, put pictures on the videos. You can use ebooks. In other words, you can take an ebook that you have read and have conversations and discussions with other people about that particular ebook. In other words, you host a video show or you host a video program, and then what you end up doing is having your audience discuss and you kind of commentate on that ebook. In other words, that's another way for you to have a video show with people over a topic. You can, of course, interview people. You could also do videos that are on lists. In other words, here's the top 10 things all leaders do when they're managing change. So what I'm sharing with you here are many ways for you to do things. A newsletter, you can have what's called a video newsletter, where you're now like a reporter, where you actually do your video, and your video is a newsletter where you educate people on different areas that you're interested in, that you know they're interested in. So these are just some ideas here. And what I wanted to do was just give your mind somewhere to go with all of that knowledge you have. That knowledge can be put in any one of these formats, and then you can turn around and use video as a way to get that out in front of people. I've seen people do audio podcasts, then upload them to YouTube and put a picture on the screen, and then have the audio podcast play behind it. It was still a podcast, but now it becomes a video. So what I'm sharing with you here are ways for you to think about your information and formats that you can do it in, and then put it inside a video and then charge for that. So these are just some ideas that I want to make sure that everyone's kind of going on in their head about and thinking about as a way to really have impact. Here's what I want to share with you. I wanted to make sure in this presentation that I got into the nitty-gritty of what Johnny really does here. And here's something that you can do as a production thing, as a creating products. You can videotape yourself, or you can have someone else interview you. You could interview someone as well. And what you can do is, with those interviews or them videotaping you, you could sell the video. You could turn around and take the video and sell the audio of the video as an MP3. And if you sell the audio of the video as an MP3, you could burn that, turn it into a CD, or you could turn around and upload that as a podcast and put that on the podcast inside of those podcast networks. You could take your video and you could transcribe your videos. Say you put on a video series, and you could have all of your videos transcribed into physical documents. What I'm doing right now is I produce a video every single month for a particular client. And what I'm going to do, and I've been doing this for the last 2.5 years. And I do these little videos, as you can see over to the side here. And what I've been doing is every video I produce, I transcribe that video, because what I'm going to do is create an ebook of all of my video recordings. I'm going to have them all edited, and then I'm going to have them totally aligned so that they are in an ebook form. Then I'm going to convert that into a physical book. So now I have another product to sell. The client has me produce the videos, but they allow me to own the intellectual property, and I can do anything that I want with that. So I'm turning that into a product to sell. So it's my knowledge that's a video that I'm now turning into a physical product. And then, of course, you can take your videos, your interviews, the things that you're already doing, and you can create them into an online video course for individuals. Now, how do we do that? You first identify the topic that you're interviewing people on, where this person you're interviewing, they're giving you tips and ideas on how to be successful in some area of life. What you're going to do is get really clear on the steps that they're taking to be successful. And you interview them on each of these individual steps versus an all-inclusive interview. And if you interview them on each of their individual steps and talk to them in depth about it, that produces multiple videos, which in turn allows you to create a video series. And you can sell that. You could sell that on your website, or you could sell that on one of the video sharing sites, not YouTube or on other sites like Vimeo. I'm talking about on sites that actually are designed for the selling of video products. And here's what some examples of them are. Udemy, what I wanted to make sure I shared with you here, think if these are sites that you can actually go to, taking your content, putting it on their site. Of course, they're going to charge you 1% of any sales you make, but it's on a site that's known to sell videos, which allows you to earn additional income. This is a way for you to create residual income on your actual one-time video. So you can do it one time and make money over and over again by uploading your video to any one of these sites. Because here's the thing, we live now in a global world. Everyone is curious about something, no matter where they are in the world. They got an interest in something. They want to know something. And your job as a content producer and an information marketer now is to share your information with as many people as possible wherever they are. And that's the power of video, and that's the power of the internet. I have been hired to speak because I have done quick little video tips on how to be successful in business, how to market yourself, how to build a network through networking. I've even done videos on how to deal with difficult people and got hired to speak in a live event. So all because they watched the video. That's how powerful video is. Before anyone is really making up their mind what they're going to do about hiring a speaker or selecting you for something, they're going to go online and they're going to look for video. One of the things that if anyone here would like to do is if you go to YouTube and you search out Johnny Campbell, how an enemy can improve your life, that's my TEDx talk. And in that TEDx talk, I talk about the value of an enemy to be successful. That video, although has not been viewed by millions of people, has been getting me hired over the last year consistently. I'm not the most famous speaker that you'll ever meet, but that video puts me in a position that audiences and groups want to hire me and pay me a premium for what I speak about. That's what you have in your hands, the ability to use video to increase your credibility, to increase your presence. That's the power here. And this is a place where you can have courses. What I wanted to show you here also is some money-making ideas using video. What you're looking at here are examples of where I am currently making money online by just producing quick 5 to 6 minute videos. One of them is you can think about what you love, what you really enjoy, and ask yourself a question. Are there other people that like and enjoy what I do? If there are, there's probably an association, but more importantly, there could be an online magazine or newsletter. I've been hired for the last 2 years, and I am paid for a 5-minute video tip that is published in a magazine, and mine is online. I do a 5-minute video tip on business success, and a magazine pays me every single month for a 5-minute video. And that little 5-minute video that I get paid for, I'm not getting paid a couple $100 for that. I'm getting paid way more than that for 5 minutes. And that's the reason is because the content, they enjoy the content and it is adding value to their subscriptioners that are subscribed to that magazine. Another way I've been doing making money every single month is paid sponsorships. When I do my own videos and I do my own personal development videos, I find sponsors, people that want to pay me to piggyback my message. So if I'm talking about success and I'm recommending something that I'm using, or I'm recommending something that they really feel can help someone improve and grow, I get paid from that as well. So I have people who sponsor my actual videos. And then finally, I have clients who hire me exclusively. And I'm what's a paid spokesperson online, where I produce videos, as you can see right here. Inside of the promotional product world, I actually talk to people who sell promotional products. In this particular case, a nail file. And I talk to them about how to sell more nail files to their clients. And I'm a paid spokesman by the nail file company. So they hire me exclusively to create videos to their target audience on how to sell more of what they want. Now, I don't get a % of every nail file sold. I'm not in that kind of deal. This is not Nike, and this is not me with a shoe deal. But I do get paid by them to promote their product directly to their marketplace, so that their marketplace sees the value of them being the one that they buy that particular product from. So what I want to share with you here is something that's kind of different and unique in the marketplace. A lot of people sell their stuff personally into the market. I have identified ways to find companies and organizations to pay me to do my videos and then produce them and sell them as well. So that's something a little bit different that most people aren't doing, or if they're doing it, they don't talk about it a lot. But I think I'm one of the few that's able to corner these 3 areas. All right. So there you have it. What I've done here is talk about how to turn your knowledge and information into video, using video. A couple more things here I wanted to talk about was getting started. And what do I mean by getting started? The things that I shared in the time that I've had here, and I had to go ahead and please forgive me if I went a little fast, but I wanted to make sure I wanted to make sure I got all of this in the time that I'm being allotted so that I can answer questions and I can address things for you. Everyone on here listening is going to be creating videos. You're going to want to be in your videos. You want to interview people. You want to share your knowledge, your insights, and your ideas. The question is, why not get paid for that as well? I'm not telling anyone here to quit their day job. Don't quit your day job. Use this as supplemental income to your existing job. Go out, think about what you really know and how it can help people who are dealing with those same problems. Even when it comes to hobbies. I watch videos on bass fishing because I love to fish. Now, I live in Florida, live up in Claremont, Florida. Love to fish. I'm watching instructional videos all the time because I'm trying to figure out how to be a better bass fisherman. So there are people out there making money on those videos that I'm watching. Sometimes it's an ad that plays. Other times they have a sponsor in the background. And so when they give advice, they're still getting paid to give that advice. You think about it the same way. Who is your audience? What is their problem? What are they dealing with? What are they going through? And then have that conversation with them. Now, one of the things that also you can do is learn to get good at doing webinars. You invite people onto a webinar, and if you have a product to sell at the end, you have to get really good at presenting your message in a way that they are compelled to want to do more business with you. So that's what I want to do here is just share with you something else that I brought. You know, you've got the knowledge and the product, meaning your knowledge and you know what you want to sell to people, but what am I supposed to say to sell it? Video webinar scripts. When you start doing video webinars, you're doing video, but you're going to have to eventually learn to sell through video. And because you're going to have to learn to sell through video, webinars are a powerful way for you to learn how to sell. In other words, video webinar scripts. In other words, you have to learn what to say in order to trigger people to want to buy. That's whether you're standing in front of the camera face to face or you are doing a webinar and selling at the end. But learning how to sell is so important with video because it's great to share all your information, but why not benefit from your information? Why not earn some money from it? Why not get good at how you communicate what your message is about? So it's not about knowledge of your information. It's about understanding the structure on how to present your information so that people are impacted by it. So here's what I want to do. What I did was this. For those that are interested, and it's not for everybody, I understand. I decided to create a private little training for this specific group here. And it's for those that are interested. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to create a webinar video script. In other words, I'm going to teach you how to script out your webinar so that you can sell your products and services at the end. In other words, you got your idea, you've turned it into a product, and you want to sell it. Well, you need to have a presentation that goes with it. And I'm going to teach you how to create a webinar presentation script that you can do live or you could do as a pre-recorded to convert more people. I'm going to talk to you about how and who will buy your knowledge, how to find and hire people to help you produce it. So if you feel uncomfortable producing it, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to create a residual income stream based on that product, how to produce CDs and DVDs of your information, and how to create a social media campaign. You've heard it millions of times, but has anyone ever really taught you how to create a social media campaign to sell your product, to get your message out, or to influence others? Therein lies the question here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you by the hand. I'm going to give you some instructional videos that are going to help you, but I'm also going to give you coaching support. Me, not anyone else. I'm going to help you through that journey. So the only question is, are you really interested in that, and would that make sense for you? Here's what I'm willing to do. The investment for it is $247 for those that are interested. But notice what it says, one-time investment. If I help you produce a product, that's something you will sell over and over and over again. That's not like you're going to invest one time and have to pay over and over. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to be with you in the journey. if you're interested, and I'm going to help you produce this product that you'll be able to sell in perpetuity, because your knowledge and information is evergreen, because there's always someone wanting to learn, wanting to grow, and wanting to be more. So for anyone that's interested, the investment's going to be $247 to order it. If you're interested, you send me an email note at johnny@transitionman.com. Send me an email note and tell me that you're interested, and then I'll send you the link over. Also, if you want to call and you want to talk about it further, there's my cell phone number below, where you can give me a call or you can text me, and we will have a conversation about it. But I wanted to make sure for those that really want to take these next steps that I had something for those individuals. Now, what I want to do at this time, because I think that I've made it, I haven't heard the bell ring, so I think I made it. What I want to do is take this time to answer any questions people might have about information to knowledge, about how I use video. Also, one other thing about video, real quick. You have a phone. Whenever you start to have success in any area of your life and you are helping people, you pull out that phone and you get a video testimony from those individuals, whether it's from speaking or from your business that you're doing. If you have happy customers, get video testimony. If you're speaking and impacting people's lives and they're growing from you, you get those testimonies, because that's what builds your credibility when you're trying to sell something or you're trying to market yourself. So don't let an opportunity slip by without recording happy people enjoying your information. Okay, there we are.
That was awesome. At this time, we're going to direct the questions that Graham has been collecting from everyone through the chat room. So Graham, if you could start with the question, please.
Certainly. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. First up the question, Johnny, you spoke about applied knowledge. What specifically do you mean by applied knowledge as opposed to just stuff that we all know?
Applied knowledge means you've actually utilized it in your own day-to-day life. You've actually applied it to problems and situations. When I get on stage and speak about change and how to deal with change in an organization, I didn't read it in a book. I lived it, and I had to help guide people through a total reorganization of the company with downsizings and mergers. I saw what people felt and their fears and their worries, and I had to help them navigate that. And that's something that you don't read in a book or find on the internet. You only learn that from people that have walked the walk. That's what I mean by applied knowledge.
Cool. There's a number of questions which I think you answered, so I'm not going to go through those, but there are a couple. Where do you go to produce a video? How do you find someone, or do you produce them yourself?
If you look in the background of me, you will see a green screen. And I use my own green screen in the back. When I'm getting paid to do videos, I put them on the green screen in the back. And when you saw the presentation, you saw some of them had backgrounds to them. Well, those were all green screens. And I just do it right here in my office. But I also use my phone. That phone has a powerful video camera. So our phones are powerful. So I will use my video on my phone to get testimonies of happy clients. And then I will actually use my phone to produce videos as well. I even have one of the old classic flip video camera. I don't know if you remember that or not, but I still have one, and it works, and I still use it from time to time.
Talking of videos, how long do you find to be the appropriate length of a video, and what techniques do you use to keep viewer engagement?
When it comes to videos, if you're talking to an interested person, an audience that is really interested, don't be deceived by those 2-minute videos. You can talk for 20 minutes. If you're talking about something that is impacting their lives and making a difference in their life, they will sit and they will listen to that. I know people say people have short attention spans because they're surfing. But think about it. When you find something you're passionate about and interested in, you can sit and watch hundreds of videos, no matter the time. So I try to focus on specific groups with specific interests so I can do longer videos. Now for clients, they will tell me, hey, you only need to make it 5 minutes. So I'll make it 5 minutes. But when I'm doing my own, I will do longer videos because I know the longer videos will add more value to that person's life. Plus, if they can always stop the video if they want, but most don't because that's what they want to learn.
Cool. A chicken and egg question here, I guess. would you suggest perhaps that wannabe speakers provide free videos at first and then work into getting paid? Or should we start the way we intend to continue?
Start the way you intend to continue. Here's what I mean by that. If you are approaching a business, a supplier, or someone in regards to wanting to produce videos for them, the most important thing you have to do to them is tell them that you have an audience of people that you can influence, that you can connect with. And they will, chances are, give you a shot. Sometimes they'll start off with, well, we'll just give you some of our products as a gift for doing the work. But as you continue to grow and achieve more success, then you can renegotiate up and say, hey, I'd like to get a couple $100 every single month for this. For me, what my advantage was the businesses and suppliers had saw me on stage presenting. So they already knew where I was at professionally, and they'd already seen testimonies of my work. So when I approached them, I said, I can reach this audience with my message and your product. We have to work out a deal. And so that's how I started. And now I just encourage everybody to start with an ask. And if the worst thing that can happen is they won't pay you anything. But if you love the audience, then you should go ahead and do it anyway and build your credibility up with the audience even more. And eventually maybe the audience will become the people that pay you. And then you go back to the supplier again and let them know that the people are with you and that you expect to get paid now.
Couple of tech questions, if I may. The first one relates to the videos. Is there a specific software or type of program that you use or that you would suggest?
I use Director, what is it called? Cut or something like that. I can't think of the name of it. I knew I should have had that name ready for you guys. But it came with my computer. And I just use this little Director's Cut, and I use that to actually produce. And really, let me give you my video editing technique. At the beginning of when I set up my camera, because no one's in my office, I set up the camera, I walk in front of the green screen, and I smile like this. And then at the end of it, I smile. And then I cut off the front, I cut off the back, and there's my video right in the middle. And that's how I actually produce videos. That's really sophisticated editing, I know. But that's really all that I do. And every now and then, I will impose into the video something in the background or some words across the bottom. But I don't really do a lot of fancy editing. But I figured out if I do the bookmark smile, that's what I call it. Smile at the beginning, smile at the end, cut off the front and the back, you've got the perfect video in the middle. Well, there you go.
Well, there's the yellow light. Another technical question, but not about video, this time about marketing. Which do you find better, Facebook or LinkedIn, as it relates to marketing and particularly, I guess, to conversion?
LinkedIn has proven to be successful when I want to get hired as a speaker and I want to reach decision makers and influencers. Facebook has proven to be more effective when I'm trying to sell to the end user, the consumer. So if I'm trying to sell a CD, a training, or a book, I go to Facebook. But if I'm trying to get hired, then I go to LinkedIn, because that's where the executive directors, the meeting planners, they're not buying your books on LinkedIn. They're buying you. So that's why if you look at me on LinkedIn, you're going to see a whole different Johnny Campbell than you will see in Facebook. Facebook, I'm a much more friendly guy. In LinkedIn, I'm much more of a businessman over there. So.
All right. And one last technical question, and I just need to find it here. Sales funnels. Do you use funnel marketing to get specific traffic? And if so, can you explain how you do that?
Oh, my goodness. You know, whoever has that question, they need to reach out to me, because I created an entire template, a sales funnel template, where I talk about that, let me give you the visual. I take my video, which is my content, and I place it inside of, say, for example, Facebook in a group. When people watch the video bounces them out to a landing page. When they get over to that landing page, there's another video waiting for them that says, hey, great that you came over to see me. Please opt in below. They opt in below. Now they're taken into my world. Now they're in my email system, but also they're on my sales page. So there's a lot of systems out there to do it. I have WordPress, I just did it myself. And I just created a bunch of pages and I linked them together in order to make it work. So if anyone's got that kind of question, I'm happy to answer that in much more detail. I just didn't want to show that slide in this presentation because I thought it'd be too overwhelming, because there's a lot of things moving around when you show that illustration, and I didn't want to not have enough time to explain it in detail.
All right, one last question from the chat group. I don't know whether there are any other live ones. David mentioned that you did a great show and tell on how to end with a sales pitch, and I think that's accurate, which raised the question from one of our participants: how long does the limited time offer last?
I will tell you the limited time for you guys. I will extend the limited time until, let me be nice, October the 1st. That will be it. If you want it now, please get it now. But for those that are making me give you a deadline, you better buy, man, because you want me to wait until the 1st. So deadline's up to October 1st.
Thank you, Johnny. That's all the questions that I have from the chat. And I note that we're about to hit the red light, but I'll hand back to the Toastmaster, Adrienne, to see if there are any further issues that need raising. Madam Toastmaster, it's all yours.
Thank you. Thank you. That was amazing. I mean, the information that you gave us just here was just more than we could have expected, especially in such a short time frame. So kudos to you, Mr. Campbell, for executing that flawlessly. It was amazing, and we want to celebrate you today for sharing that with us. I think the offer is amazing. I'm so happy that I was here today because it is something we all need to do.
Well, one more thing.
Yes.
I was surprised there was 34 people on here. That was awesome.
Thanks to David. David is the master at that. Okay. At this time, I would like to call for the reports. I'm going to go directly to our timer. Arlene, Jamie?
Yes, he stopped right at 40 minutes. I turned the red light on. You saw it. Perfect timing.
Awesome. And our watcher, Miss Lois Margolin?
Thank you, Adrienne. It was interesting watching everybody today. We had a lot of guests and we had quite a few members, but mostly what I saw was people looking up at the ceiling. Perhaps they had another monitor going up there. Quite a few stopped the video, and that's okay if you don't want people to see you. Adrienne, you were absolutely perfectly framed the entire time. Kudos to you. Some were super far away, so we only saw up to your nose. But overall, it was a great meeting. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Johnny, very much.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. And we also have our chat monitor, Graham Carnes. Did you have any other comments, please?
Madam Toastmaster, I have to tell you that the chat was particularly interesting today. There was not only the questions which were being raised, there were some observations, including about whether CDs are, how old school they are. It was a fun chat, but one thing I thought was really interesting was that other than the questions, there wasn't a lot of interaction because everybody was so interested in watching what Johnny was doing. But I did note that a few people were probably doing what I do and took screenshots of various things instead of taking notes. And there are a couple of questions in the chat. I would suggest to everybody, there's a button on the bottom right-hand corner of the chat where it says Save Chat. While we as a club save the chat and make it available, I would suggest that everybody individually do that as well, because all of the links that have been referred to today are in that chat and it saves a text file on your computer.
Oh, I was going to say, if I could add just for a second, just really quick. I had someone once ask me the question about CDs. If you're at a live event and you're speaking, people still buy CDs because they want to walk away with something in their hands. So remember, we're not talking about people that are really young, like below 18 years of age. We're talking about adults. If they are at an event, they love to have something to walk away with and hold in their hands, physical. You can still sell digital, but CDs still sell.
Can I ask, because this is actually a question that's related to that, and I'm sorry to interrupt. Have you had any experience with the difference between selling CDs and selling MP3s on a USB stick?
No, actually what I do is I give people the option, and that's why I still sell CDs, because I can sell everything to someone as a digital download. but there are people that come to me that want those physical CDs in their hands. And so I sell them that way as well. So they're not dead. CDs are not dead yet, just like albums aren't dead.
Sorry to interrupt. I'll shut up now.
Okay, perfect. That was a good point. You had mentioned the video that you did for the TEDx talk. That link is in the chat. If you look there, you can click the link there for the TEDx speech that you did. At this time, I'm going to bring up our general evaluator, who is also dual role our president, Mr. David Carr.
All right, thanks, Adrian. Yes, I am unmuted. I can't find that button. How about that? Johnny, one question that I've been wanting to squeeze in, which is not really part of the general evaluator's duties, but I'm going to squeeze it in here anyways, is about the difference between doing a webinar, a video, or whatever that you're going to sell, where the video is the product, versus one that you give away because you want to get as large of an audience as possible, and the sales pitch is at the end. Those are kind of two entirely different creatures, aren't they?
Well, yes, actually, when you are, and you have to understand something, when you do a webinar, if it's just for pure education, then you might not have a sales pitch at the end. But if you are trying to position your product for sale at the end, there's scripting that needs to happen for that. See, one of the things that people forget, every presentation, there should be an outcome, a call to action to do something. And so whether you are educating people, you still want to call them to action to do something. If you're selling, you definitely want them to call them to action. And that's why scripting your message is so important. How you script what you say and when you say it makes a big difference on whether people buy it, believe you, or want to do business with you in the future.
Okay. You also made the point that you should get a video testimonial from people. You want to give us a quick video testimonial about why people should come to online presenters? Have you seen enough there to get an idea of that?
Good
Yes, all right, here we go. Hey, my name is Johnny Campbell. If there's one thing that we can all agree on, is that in the world that we live in today, being able to use video to market yourself, your product, your service, or your club is imperative to your success. So one of the things that I would recommend you do is stop waiting and debating about it, is go ahead and join this Toastmaster Club's online presenters club, because what you'll learn is not only how to be just a better presenter, but you'll also understand the intricacies and the little details of creating videos that matter. So Johnny Campbell here, don't wait, sign up with them right now.
All right. Is he good or is he good, everybody?
Yay, that was excellent.
Even if you're muted, you can clap.
Notice I smiled at the end. That's the cutoff.
Oh, that's right. We know where to cut. Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Johnny. In terms of actual general evaluator comments, Adrian did a good job. This is not our usual format. I think everybody did a great job at adapting the format and the roles to match the meeting. And thank you, Graham, for gathering up all those questions as we went along. Let's see. So I'm gonna switch into the mode of closing out the meeting soon. Lois Margolin, do we have a member who wanted to give their speech about wanting to join?
Yes, we do, David. Monica would like to give her speech tonight.
All right. So, Monica, you have table topics timing. So 1 to 2 minutes, just a quick pitch about what you see as the potential of this club and how it will benefit you and how we'll benefit from having you as a member.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Johnny. I loved your speech. I joined Toastmasters in April of last year after I found it on Meetup. And up until then, I had never heard of Toastmasters. There's not enough people out there sharing and talking about it. And I feel like it's a skill that is lost, especially in the world that I'm in. I'm an engineer by day. I'm a professional organizer at night and any other time for that matter. But I see a need for speaking. And I'm actually a member of 2 different clubs right now, not including this one, if I'm allowed to join. And I'm a mentor for a new club that just started in July. And I'm looking at starting another club right now by October. And I really think that I can utilize the online presenters to help me get the format out there and share the information that I have so that people have the knowledge and they know there's things there and I can share my skill set with them. Turn it back over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much. Everybody, please send a vote to Lois about whether Monica should be admitted. I don't know if I see anybody voting against her after that speech, but that's technically we'll let you know after the meeting. So,
thank you.
Let's see. There is one other thing I just want to touch on one more time, which is to share that, yes, we do have other presentations in this series coming up that will be advertised on our website. If you go to this toastmos.org, op.toastmos.org/workshops, you'll see them all there. We'll be emailing out that link. I do have to mention that I'm doing a webinar of my own later this week on RSVP Maker, which is the software for WordPress that I'm using to market these events and take the registrations. I'm doing that on Wednesday night, and you can get a link to that too. It's in the sponsor advertisement slot on our website over in the sidebars if you would like to stop by for that. But John Hayden on Facebook Live, October 9th. I actually got a chance to participate in John Hayden's webinar on using Facebook and Instagram marketing to promote yourself. He was doing it particularly for nonprofits, but it applies to everything. I have a small bit of business to do for those of you who are members. I need a vote to approve spending a small budget that we have of $100 on Facebook ads to try and drive people to these events. And my plan for that actually is one of the things you can do with a Facebook advertisement is you can target the audience of somebody else's Facebook page. So at least one of the things I'm going to try is targeting the audience for Johnny Hayden's, John Hayden's Facebook page, where he markets his services, and see if we can't bring some of those people over to visit online presenters. So those of you who are members, I need a vote of, a lot of people have privately told me that they're fine with this, but we need to make it official so that I don't get sent to jail for embezzling from the club. So I guess you can send those votes to me via chat as well before we close out. And we should also take a minute to try and fill up the agenda for next week's meeting. So again, next week we have a regular meeting. It wasn't really intentional that we were packing these workshops so close together. The one tonight was originally supposed to be September 11th, but we had a hurricane in South Florida, where a number of our members are based, and that kind of threw us off just a little bit. We have most roles open for next week. I'm down to speak, which I think I did as a demo, and I forgot to take it off. So I've been wondering whether to weasel out of that, but I think I'm going to stay on. I haven't actually spoken in this club in a while. We need a Toastmaster of the day. We need a number of other roles. I won't keep people on for too long, but if you'd like to grab a role right now, let me know. Don't all speak at once. Can we at least get a Toastmaster of the day volunteer? So that person can round up some other volunteers. Boy, the silence. All right, I'm going to have to pick on you guys during the week. I don't want to hold up the meeting. I would like to hear from some folks who are visiting us as guests about what they thought of this experience. If you've never been to an online meeting before, can we expect you back next week or in a future week? Anybody like to speak up who was here as a guest this evening?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, David. Yeah, thanks. I thought it was great. Johnny, I think Johnny did a great job. I learned a lot, and I do plan to come next week. If you need any help with any of these roles, I'd be happy to. I'm a little new to Toastmasters, so
Okay.
You just need to do a
Well,
little
we might give you another week to just come and observe, so you
Okay.
kind of get the hang of it. But that'd be great. And
Okay.
maybe we'll draft you into table topics, which is impromptu speaking practice. And table topics is great training for life in general, because there's going to come a time in any business meeting where somebody may turn to you and say, "What do you think?" And it teaches you to think on your feet. So that's great. I don't know whether we have time to talk to all of the guests. Actually, anybody who would like to speak up now, we'd love to hear from you about what you thought about this meeting.
It's Joe again. I had a great time again, and what Johnny presented was incredible. Some of the resources that he shared, especially the online platforms, are pretty amazing. Especially, I use Thinkific myself, and I'm starting to build on there. I definitely like to join the club, but I'm not sure that I can make it for next week's meeting. I may have to be working late, but I will definitely let you know. And if I need to do a table topics presentation, I'm definitely up for that.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And we also, Andre, I know you have experience with a number of online clubs. I think your first time visiting here?
Yeah, it's my first time. It's a real pleasure. I was really amazed at the timing management of the club, first. Secondly, the content, of course. And thirdly, the dynamic presence and the richness of the members. So I will be back. Not next week, but I will be back for sure.
All right. And I should ask Francis Molina, is the Toastmasters big shot? How do we do? How many times do they say "em" and "ah"? That's what I need to know.
What I would tell you is this. I think, honestly, this is the second online Toastmasters meeting that I attend. I always love to see Johnny. It was great to see you again. So, hi. I want to tell you that I am very impressed with your organization. I am impressed with the coordination between the members, how questions are being gathered. I was a little, it was a thought in my mind how you're going to gather all these questions and how you're going to deliver them to Johnny, and it was beautiful. So great job, everybody. I will definitely come back again. I am looking for a new club to home me, to support my travel. So yes, I'll come back again a second time, and then I will do my 1-minute speech.
All right. All right. We're moving up in the world. We're getting the important people here. Speaking of which, Dorette, can you unmute? We didn't get to hear from you earlier.
Hi, David. How are you?
Welcome. Dorette is one of my friends formerly from Club Awesome in Coral Springs, Florida, but you moved north on us, right?
I did, and it is indeed a pleasure to be able to be on. I'm very impressed. The meeting was very informative. It's just awesome to be able to see everyone. I definitely look forward to visiting again. Wonderful job, David. Keep it up.
All right. Excellent. I think we probably should wrap it up. We're at about 5 minutes after. The replay will be sent out along with some other information about how you can sign up for these other workshops, and definitely come back to see a regular meeting if you haven't seen a regular one. They're probably irregular meetings, actually, but we're trying to make them more regular.
David, this is
Yes.
Adrian. I'd like to hear feedback from Johnny on what he thought about our meeting.
Oh, well, he gave us his sales pitch, but that was forced. That was coerced.
I thought it was awesome. I've never really experienced this before like this. I've been on conference call meetings, but never this type of interaction, and it was wonderful. So I would definitely recommend, like I said, I wouldn't have endorsed it if I didn't believe it. You guys are doing a great job, and you should have definitely a lot more people. And I'm totally impressed at the guy that's up at 4 a.m. somewhere on Earth, listening to me. I'm pretty impressed, as well as the lady. I forget where she was. I forget what part of Asia she's in, but it was amazing. So
she's in Malaysia.
Here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming, and we hope to see you again next week or soon after.